Hello, and welcome to Pillars of Eternity. Let's move on, shall we? Actually, what quests do we have? We have to check at this thing as well. Through Death's Gate. Mysterious man. Somewhere outside of Darfur. The London Key has sent operatives to find the site, though their purpose isn't known to me. I don't know exactly where these ruins are. I actually think I do. But someone in Darfur village does. The Undying Heritage. The Acolyte showed me a vision of an ancient tower in a derelict district of Defiance Bay, and the Hermit of Harden Homes. Okay, we've actually done this one. Fragments of the Scattered Fate. Lord of the Barren Lands. A lot of quests. We also have bounties. Okay, let's go to Heritage Hill. 30 minutes later. Oh, the Heartless Woman isn't here, I know that much. Go. Also, let's not forget, there is camp equipment right there. Was this shop here before? Weird. Anyway. I think that was the house. Icantha.
You return. What have you come seeking this time?
I saw you in a vision. There is something you need to do for me.
Believe me, I've heard that line before. It's rude to stare, you know. Don't worry. I've no mind to start anything with you. After all, I've stayed in such good shape by choosing my meals carefully.
I came across a group of people in the back room. Sure. You can eat them, I don't care. Let's visit that tower and see what we can actually find in there. We also need to go to Darfur, apparently. Despite us knowing about those ruins. You know, exploring forbidden ruins. Somewhat of a theme, isn't it? The massive stone door of the tower is sealed, and there doesn't appear to be any way of opening it. Speak the words you learned from the London Key Acolyte. I heard rumbles and chokes from hidden trembles in the door unlocks.
Not a sound.
Goes.
Hey.
That'll be an easy kill. Yeah, that's the guy I was looking for. There's also a wizard there. I want you to get out of.
Need something?
Really? You went right through him just so he can...
Blood makes the grass grow.
Okay, everyone attack him.
Needs.
I'm here. Herodias is out.
Well, are you gonna disengage attack him? No, okay, don't worry about it. I mean, it's only one of the rules of the game. Why should we listen to him?
I'm here. Dead on.
Okay, what do we have? Deflection minus something. Don't know what's wrong with you. Movement speed +2. Okay. You know, there was an armor that gave me speed +1. Was it this one? The Aura Brooked, yes. Let's switch him up. Skeletal Rogue. Skeletal Wizard.
Ready, Watcher.
Hey.
No worries, everyone take him down.
I'm here.
Go back over there. Yeah, that's it.
Dead on.
Why not aim for the wizard? There we go.
I'm here. Stand together. Can't get it.
See, that was easy.
I'll stay out of sight.
Search for secrets. There we go. Rite of Yardful Spirit. Athletics 4. That's it. Wow, that really is a horrible spell.
Hey.
Okay, there is also this place. Kills your wizard. Aim for the ranger next.
Dead on.
Good work, us. Potion of Power. Page from Outman's journal. Day 2. We've completed our measurements of the machine. Thanks to Trining's doubtful agility, further examination is required to discover its intended use.
Quiet.
Right. Day 7. A week's study, and we're still none the wiser about the device. Trading remains optimistic. I don't know what I'd do without this spirit. Dearest mother and father, you will be pleased to hear that I've learned much already since coming to the city. There's many incredible ruins nearby, and Master Greg anyway, and Master Greg has allowed me to accompany him on a number of expeditions. I'm writing to you from inside an ancient Ingwidian tower. There is an entire district built up right around it, but the locusts have mostly left the tower untouched. They have let us set us temporary living quarters here, so our work can continue uninterrupted. It is an unsettling place at times, but Master Greg has been constant comfort, and he is quick to remind me that the things we learned from this tower may one day help us find a cure for Woden's legacy. I'd better get some rest now. Mr. Greg, I guess it's Mr. now, not Master, likes to get an early start of the day. All love, Friday. Essence shimmering and posting within the strange device.
You're not getting through me.
Good. Attack him. You can transform.
I'm stuck over here.
There goes one of you. Focus on this guy. I want them all terrified. Flanking? That's insane. Why would we do that? Let's see if you can. Oh, come on, game. Now that was not fair at all.
I didn't think anything kept out in the hay, fella.
Yeah, we're missing every single shot. Why?
How bad?
Well, that's grand.
Ready, Watcher. Constitution -4. Again, we can live with that. Move this way. Books? No.
Have a look at this.
Some scrolls of penetration, petrification, protection. Okay. The scroll contains pen and ink diagrams of the Adra device running through the tower. Despite copious master the carefully drawn details, it gives no indication of the machine's purpose. The Works of Ingredients, a comprehensive guide. Okay, so you guys just work with what you have? You don't have any theories you're working on? Okay. Scrolls of Stag's Horns.
Hey.
Well, we know what you need to do. Hey, Tumak. Seriously. But you can't walk?
Ready, watch.
Hey.
Critical. Cool.
Slow and silent.
Sigil of Arcane. Grants arcane dampening once per res. Letter from Icantha. Alberon, I did indeed receive your recent summons, as well as two that come before it. I'd been waiting for you to present yourself on this doorstep so that I could give you my answer in person, a firm and unwavering no. I won't help you. In fact, I relish the idea of you and your team of glorified engineers sitting in the tower, sweating over the runes I've studied for years. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than knowing that my research, which you've long dispatched, is the missing piece in your mundane little puzzle. As you well know, it's knowledge I value the most. I'm just around the corner. I encourage you to find me should you wish to relish this conversation in person. Yours truly, Icantha. Well, at least now we know why she is empty-hearted. Day 10. Patrons grow impatient with the lack of quantifiable results. They should drag themselves out of their mansions and spend a few nights here, if they think it's so easy. Day 11. Finally got out of the tower to clear my head. Beasts take the patterns. We'll finish the study on our own terms, on our own time. Just as I said, as much as writing, the sky came to life with stray lightning. I said it's good omen, but the poor lad spoke it. Only cure for that is good night's sleep. Okay? Okay, let's move on.
Let's try this configuration. Still nothing. Confounded device.
Hey zombie, have you seen any secrets nearby? Look at that focus! A man hunched over the strange mechanism. His spine was sharp-rigged, rising from his arched back. He is barely clothed in filthy rags, and the patches of skin I saw are molten green. A foul stench emanated from him. He's so intent on his work that he doesn't notice me until my shadow fell over him. When he turned and saw me, He snarled and scuttled behind the other parasol. Only his bare teeth seemed to have escaped decay. His eyes were yellow and bloodshot, but they flickered with intelligence. He averted his gaze and held a hand in front of his face.
Shouldn't be here. What do you want?
Give me a reason not to cleave you in half.
I'm so close. I can figure it out. Reverse the mechanism. I just need time. Time and...
He doubled over coughing, and when he looked back at me, his teeth flashed for a brief moment.
research. We came to do research on the tower. Some commission from... gods, it hardly matters now.
If I had a copper scat for every fool Amanancer who thirsts for knowledge led to a disaster, well, I never would have ended up in Gilded Vale, that's for sure. That has nothing to do with the deaths in the streets. Focus.
Something happened on our 11th night. Lights in the sky and a static charge in the air. But we were so careful. We were staying in the chambers below. Trindig, my assistant, said he saw a robed figure lurking around the tower. Wore a mask. Carried knives at his sides. A trick of shadows, I told him. The next morning, we felt strange. Like we hadn't eaten in weeks. So dazed that we didn't at first notice the blood around our beds. The strange wounds that had appeared overnight. And the machine. This cursed spire. Dormant for 2,000 years. Lifeless through hundreds of our experiments. And we wake that morning to find it spinning on its own. On its own! How can we stop what we couldn't start? Years I've been doing this. Years. I know how these things work, but I don't know how this happened. Nowhere to go. That's the problem. Their souls are trapped here like flies in a jar, clinging to rotting meat.
Get to the point. Fast.
I am trying. I've studied contraptions like this for years, and still the most basic elements elude me. It has the power to manipulate souls, but why? For what? And how many others lie buried in the ruins of Erglonfoth? No. Focus on this one. It's imprisoned our souls in our bodies. Cut the root between essence and flesh. Left a dwindling soul stuck in a shriveling husk.
Tell me about the stranger in the tower the night this happened.
I didn't see him. My assistant, he saw him. We laughed. Said he was spooked by the cemetery. Perhaps it was already too late. I don't know what he did. But by morning the machine was on and we were slain. People were already on the streets, complaining of neighbors and family members acting strangely.
You're not like the guts in the street.
Not yet. But I will be. My body is dead. My soul, imprisoned in this corpse, only makes it seem otherwise. And as the body decays, so does the mind. Until nothing is left but the hunger. The only way to forestall the process is through a regular infusion of essence. Living flesh is the only ready supply. I'm not proud of any of it. Hunting men and women in the early days of the affliction. Picking off soldiers that came to investigate. But I'd do it again. I'll do it as long as I must to end this disaster.
I think my clan has the temerity to accuse me of being slow-reading beast when an actual such monster walks the face of Warka.
You could help. Help me end this. Help me find sustenance.
I want nothing to do with this. Please, she won't listen. You've got to help me. He grabs a pillar of support, opening his eyes. He seemed to notice it for the first time. Help me. He touched the copper symbols, as if trying to puzzle out their meaning. What happened to the rest of the team? Did you eat them?
By the time I realized what had happened, the district had already been sealed. So we fed when we needed, and locked ourselves in the tower to work. And then there came a time when the hunger struck, and there was hardly anyone left.
Charming. How exactly can I help?
Not your help I need, it's Heritage Shrew squanders her research on frivolities, then refuses to make herself useful. Runes. The runes are the last part of the puzzle. Acantha knows them. She gives them to you, and you can turn the machine off. Release our souls.
She wasn't here the night the machine came on, staying with her patron somewhere near. Too good to be burdened with an ignorant company. If Inkatha knows the control words, then I don't see any way I need your help.
Help! I help you, yes. You bring me the words and something to keep me strong. Then I show you a secret about the machine. Something to make you strong. Acantha was here, in Heritage Hill. Must be here still. Clever lady, that one.
Cavarus spits on the ground, throwing his body forward for dramatic emphasis. Disgusting. Let the creature starve. We're not going to do his hunting for him, are we? That will be no better than throwing a child into a biowick. For ages, an aged wizard has seen him traveling up and down the northwest coast of Dawood, performing experiments in the middle of terribly violent storms. Locals have never been certain if the wizard is taking advantage of the weather, if she is causing the phenomenon herself. In recent months the wizard has not been seen, but farmers have reported a dark railing clouds passing through otherwise clear sky. In the process of tracking the strange storm, Kana discovered that the old wizard had somehow transformed himself into a unique type of magical blight. In this storm-like form, she had continued to float around and above the Dawood, unable to shift back into her original elf body. Kana was able to aroundly communicate with her by observing the confusing series of thunderclaps and lightning strikes. The wizard directed Kana to her laboratory in the outskirts of the Gilded Vale. After performing a small series of simple operations in the lab, Kana was able to return, the grateful wizard, to her natural form. In gratitude, she gave Kana a storm-generating rod. This powerful rod was created by an aged elven wizard who had trapped herself in the form of a raging storm that drifted over Dawood for some time. While the rod is not as fantastic as a demonstration of the wizard's powers as her transformation, it contains potent storm magic. Cool. Okay, we need to speak with the Snowball at some point as well. Okay, let's go to the bottom. We need to speak with Inkka. Well, Inkka, I don't know. So it's hard enough learning Itumak's name. And he's actually kind of important, so I'm not even gonna try. Okay. Moving over there. Also, if I find camp equipment, I might actually rest. That's what I was talking about. Go on. Sagani thunders over me, stretching her legs. She held a pouch of deer jerky in one hand, and she offered it, as she takes a seat across from me. Itumak looked on, hungrily. Long day, she bended one arm behind her head, reaching until you hear a pop. So, something like this. Just wanted to see how you're holding up. You seem to have a lot of long nights. The London key hasn't assassinated me yet, so I guess I can't complain. A bright side of everything, isn't it? Look, it's been a while since I had hunting party, but we're in it together. And even if we're hunting for different things, we're still hunting together. She took a chunk of dried meat from her pouch and bit long strips from it. Itumak licked his lips, and she tossed the rest. I don't understand exactly what's happening to you. That'll help you find Theos, same as you're doing for me. Oh yeah, that's something I'm doing right. Oh, so I needed to read a book because I rested. Let's do that right now. Adriam Customs. Adriam is a country rich with customs. They are known for their strict adherence to them. Their customs run aground from grand celebrations, like the Feast of Feasts, to mundane superstitions, such as way to avoid self-addiction. This volume will focus primarily on bigger celebrations, as no one knows how to throw an extravagant party quite like Adrian. The Feast of Feasts. The biggest and most important of all Adrian customs is the Feast of Feasts. This week-long celebration happens the first week of Poundstone. Deep Summer. Okay, thank you for the brackets there, book. And is dedicated to honoring the life of the first Fairkioing. Each day of the week is devoted to some aspect of the Fairkioing's life, and there are very specific dishes to be served at each meal. The Feast of Feasts originally began as a festival celebrating the birth of the Fairkioing's first son, and soon became an yearly occurrence during the week of this birthday. Currently, Adrian simply uses it as an excuse for a party and pull out the sauce in an effort to undo the previous year. And last you wonder, as I did, which Fairkioing is honored during the Feast of Feasts, it's always the current Fairkioing. For each Fairkioing is the first and only Fairkioing, sure. The God Emperor. The Sweet Treat. A special custom that arose some point during the Feasts of Feasts. Sweet treats started as a way to keep children occupied till the parents could dine in peace, or is still used for that today. Significance has been added to it. Each treat is placed in a container, usually a small metal box, and hidden somewhere on the property. After everything has been hidden, the children are sent out to find the treasures. It is said now that the hidden treats represent the Glamphatian artifacts, and the children are explorers, bringing the riches back to their new and rightful owners. Carnival of the Mask. When the original colonists of Adir traveled to the new lord to find Taiwood in the name of Adrian Fairkioing, they encountered Glamphatian people. The Carnival of the Mask celebrates this meeting. Originally it was merely a formal reincarnation as a play on the tension between the Glamphatians and Dandirian settlements, but it has since evolved into a much more than that. I keep skipping my paragraphs for some reason. Participants choose sides and come dressed in elaborate outfits, depicting which group they have dedicated to align themselves with, Adirians or Glamphatians. Everyone attempts to masquerade bow, and this party replaces the semblance of the play that was represented. Winter's End. Winter's End was never anything more than an excuse for celebration, and it hasn't changed at all in the years. In Adir, it takes place during the winter dusk, and last 3 days. People use the time to reflect on their year, celebrating their lives and remembering the dead, especially those who have passed in the recent year. Yes, because as we all know, winter is always the last part of the year. Unless it's the first part of the year, like, it actually is in some places. Anyway.
You return. What if you come seeking this time?
I need the words that operate the ingredient machine in the tower.
That fool Aldhelm. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. That simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is. He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sends you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for meaning.
Humble Adam now by demonstrating the value of your research. My silence demonstrates it more successfully. Tell me the tower's name.
Ter Nuneth. It's called Ter Nuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Deerwood, are relays, built to move souls.
How do you operate the machine atop Ter Nuneth?
Back to these Tinker's concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you?
I would destroy them.
A sudden end, but for what purpose?
I could help, but I won't. The pied Lorsch in her soul flared up, twisting into the shape of something that rides the squirrel within her. Here I have specimens amply time enough to observe them all. It's very scientist's dream. A scientist's dream. You are dead. Why does any of this matter to you? Because my research will outlive me. I'll have time, opportunity enough to accompany more than any animancer in history of the field. And who will know about it? Oh, I've learned, years of studying the ingredient language. No one understands it better than me. That counts for something. Knowledge is meaningless unless it's shared. A foolish and false sentiment. Knowledge is meaning. It needs no external purpose. Your opportunities here are faint. One day the knowledge will die with you. The price is as brothers, a little more than an ember now. I will build it forever. I'll cling to it. That will give me something. Will there really be enough for you? It will. It must be. Teach me what you know. I'll make sure that it grows to your legacy lives on. My words finally quenched her pride, and all that remained was a blackened diamond heart rock. I cast it away, where it melted into the darkness.
So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours. These are the words you need.
Her cold, dried fingertips rested on my temples, and I felt her reaching into my mind, forming an image from the darkness. Runes flashed through my head, but they are no longer just pictures. They have meaning. And I understood them. They are commands. Something triggered in my mind, a distant memory unearthed from the past life long since buried. I could see a vast array of runes, far more than Inkta has showed me. and I knew their sound and their meaning, and how they fit together, the language of Engwit once more at my command.
Something has awakened in your mind. You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge then, and do what you will with Ter Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose, it will serve you in whatever way you wish.
Certainly. What do I do with the tower now that I know these words?
Turn it off, I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
Out of the corner of my eye, Alot gave me a shy look. It seems your ravenous new friend has just given us the key to ending the wretchedness for good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. No one has right to imprison souls. Except me, but that's a different question. And now that we've seen this machine is capable of, I do hope you're not quenching about the loss of a few hundred souls. I am not. You said that other towers around Airwood were constructed to move souls. Why would Engwidians have wanted to do that? Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they'd wished. The real question, as always, is why? To exert them the way a player shifting the deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields, to collect them like butterflies under glass, to mold them down from raw essence. Unfortunately, I don't know. Remind me, how do you know so much about the tower? I read the runes like journal. I understand their meaning. People like Averin, they try to read them like the instruction manuals, and in so doing, they miss their true meaning completely. And we have no idea why they want to trap these souls. Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Egwydians as masters of soul manipulation, but they couldn't have attained their experiment without copious trails and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment. Explain, how does the control word actually work? Harnessing the power of Tir Nova is about understanding it. It was designed to do. You know the words and their meaning. You can speak them and the tower shall obey. I guess that is out. We have a prestigious villager. A visitor, not villager. Two of them, in fact. A wealthy noble by the name of Lord Sidrock has arrived. The lab should be built within an hour, which means we are gonna start the next building in a few minutes time. Wait. Totally forgot about something. Oh, I've lost reputation for killing these unknown people. That's great. I honestly don't care about my reputation. No one should have known that. Maybe she should, but I doubt anyone's gonna listen to her, but still. Losing reputation for something like that is kinda weird. By the way, I hope you were hungry to Mac. Let's get up there. Let's proceed to the town. Edmund looked much worse than before. His rotten flesh banged loosely and sort have eaten away patches of skin at his joints. He looked at me with a strange glimpse in his eyes.
Flesh.
He took a tentative scuttle step towards me. He doubled over, cutting up straight to back bow. He seemed to have forgotten about me for the moment. Standing near the device feels like being blown by a storm of gale. The stone steps hum with energy. A jagged adder pillar rised from front of me, encircled in stonework and ran through it copper veins. The panel was covered with runes, which I can now understand. I recognized words for end and for hold. The dial is currently fixed on hold. I also recognized its inscription and the manner in which I turned the dial is a means thwarting the device. Let's destroy it. What, no boom? Muttering a command, I gave the dial a violent twist. The moving spires spin faster and faster, wobbling from their axes. The light filled the machine quickly, becoming too bright to behold. I looked away and covered my ears. A thunderous crash that followed shakes the floor beneath me. When I looked back, the machine is in ruins, never to be used again. You wanna say something?
Still and silent. It's finally over. Still and
I'll
silent.
stay out of sight.
It's finally over.
I'm on the trail.
Laying low.
Great. Well, that didn't damage my reputation.
All right then.
Okay, let's take a look at that journal. Cinders of Fate, Long Hunt, stuff like that, and it's actually in the inventory right here. Nkata insists on pursuing her own research on the tower, despite my argument that the pooling our knowledge is the both of our interest. With her experience, it is the Ingwedian language. I'm convinced that she knows more about the tower's working than she lets on. Is she still alive? Okay, how long before this building is actually completed, I wonder? Oh, is it done? Yes. Okay. Purchase this, then we'll go with the head mace. She is nowhere to be seen, unfortunately. Such pity. Good blood gone bad. Okay. Where to next? Right, let's go to Lady Webb and tell her what we found. The tower. It's off. Does that mean that the curse of Harjan's Hill is lifted? It wasn't a curse, but yes, the district is safe. I think there'll be some time before anyone will be willing to settle in the district again, but at least we can get started on restoring it. And so we headed out. Wait, was it Blackenberry? I think so.
Good day to you.
Thanks again for your help. Would you like to come and work for me? No such option, okay?
Good day, stranger.
Excuse me, but I've been looking for you. You're the one who lifted the curse of Heritage Hill. My lady, who wishes to remain anonymous, has entrusted me with bringing you this pistol. It belonged to a dear friend of hers, who was lost to the curse. For your part in reclaiming Heritage Hill, my lady wishes you to have it. Here. May it serve you well in battle. Thank you. You're quite welcome. You gained the item, St. Gum Spark. Now I must be off. Farewell. Well, aren't you just adorable little pistol? Interrupt damage doesn't seem to be more powerful than mine. Seconds, 30. Why is that? Damage, pierce, accuracy. Alright, because of the. What's it called? Enchantment. That gives me shocking bullets. The attack speed actually is up on this. Accuracy grant to ally attacking the same target. Oh wait, that's forgiveness. It does have shock damage. DR bypassed critical damage multiplier. And it has damaging plus 15%. My pistol is a little bit better. Let's read about it then. Saint Garum was a priest in Hela, known for his mystery of the arts of wordplay. It was said that he could shape the mood of a crowd with a single word and find with cruel precision the most shocking turn of phrase with which to dismantle an opponent. One more whimsical daughter of the Dawood got the pistol crafted in his honor. For the gun too, she said, could put an end to any debate. Yeah, I guess. Okay, what's the next word we need to book? The next book we need to read. Adrian Customs, we read about this. Let's read this one so we can actually end it, but that's gonna be a little bit later. Let's go talk to Lady Webb. The Pistolkin too and the debate. Shocking. Anyway.
How fares your search? Well, let's hear it.
The Egwedian Tower in Heritage Hill contained an ancient machine that could control the flow of souls. The Linden Key activated it.
This is troubling. That civilization seems to have known more about the mechanics of souls than anyone since. The Leaden Key was born in that period. It may be that Theos has full knowledge of their technology. The applications of this machine you speak of, I don't want to think about it. That isn't enough to take to the Duke, but we're close. Avar Wolfgren is a cautious man. He will want to know everything possible before being moved to action.
He's also a weak-willed fool. And I hope he dies a horrific death. Okay, let's return to my humble castle and see to that prestigious villager. Visitor, I still call them villager.
Hey, Allah, can I, talk to your, your friend? What is it about Isilmir? I'm right here, you know. No, you're both great. It's just, well, I feel like I don't get to spend as much time with her, and she's just so funny. I mean, some of the things she says are not nearly as funny when you've been hearing them for 50 years.
How old are you again? Anyway, let's move to Cadnoa. New quest, return to court. There's also a criminal who arrived here. This will be completed in 1 hour. Well, let's take a look at the criminal. And the noble. I honestly see no difference between them. One steals, the other one is considered a criminal. Don't care about the ducal palace. Neri the Draft Hand, or Lord Sinrock. Let's start with you. Ah, it's good that you're here. I simply must speak with you, my lord. Very well, let's hear it. As I'm sure you're well aware, Weld has a way of bringing enemies. My fortress is beset by thieves. I'm sure one of the lesser nobles is after my treasure. This has the stink of jealousy upon it. It will be weeks before I can secure my holdings, and by then it will be too late, and I haven't the connection to hire mercenaries on short notice. And so I turn to you, my lord. Is there anything you can do? I'll see to it that the jealous rivals are dealt with. I'll have massive sent to every noble in the land. Letters, my lord. You think that's sufficient? They will heed my warning, or they will be destroyed. Of course, forgive me for ever doubting you. We are blessed to have someone sensible at Kadnua. Just leveled up. Cool. Neri the Draft Hand. Name's Neri. Begging your pardon. Oh, my lord. But I was hoping we could talk. Very well. Let's hear what you have to say. So, might I got myself nicked here and there for a few unsavory deeds. My name is no poster all over the fence bay now. Makes it harder to walk about freely, if you get me. My thinking is, it is time for me to seek out new horizon. That fire Hivekloak seems nice, and I'm out of everyone's hair, only I could use some help getting there. And I am asking you to do this for free, mind you. I picked up a couple of things here and there, a fellow I know. Not much good to me that I'm caught. Very well, I can help you escape. You could do it, boss. I mean, lord. What's the plan? Here, this ought to be enough to pay for your passage. Hey, this. That's real generous of you. I'll give myself the honor right off. I won't forget this. I owe you. Great.
Welcome.
Greetings, my lord. Fancy a new blade? Maybe an axe? I've plenty here. Take the fancy and the man action. Or perhaps some ingredients and spices for the road. Actually, yeah. No, you obviously have absolutely nothing. Grant escape. Ooh. Escape. I could actually use this. What does my medallion give me? Maximum endurance. It wasn't a cape, I would be so much happier. Let's take a look at this. This simple cape was property of a young gambler who made her living at dice. She played and cheated her way across Darwood, and she was playing the game with off-duty soldiers at Hell's Gate Citadel when an extra die clattered out of her sleeve. She fled, and the drunken soldier at the table grabbed their weapon and gave chase. The alarm went off across the citadel, and the gambler dodged the spears and arrows of emerging guards as she made her way to the edge of the island. When she reached the cliffs, she skipped to a hold, cast a single glance at the pursuing soldiers, and tumbled into the sea. Half of the guards on duty that night tried to claim credit for the arrow or spear that must have knocked her down. But when they retrieved her cape from the branch had snatched, they found it was whole. Her body was never found. We can give it to Speedy. Intelligence resolve. Perception. Might be a little bit more difficult with that accuracy so low. The accuracy is actually pretty high, so no, it's not that. Let's take the maximum endurance. We're gonna leave it like this. Let's read the book. My mother lived every note in her life's song. Bringing me into the world was her last verse. For this my father scorned me and abandoned me, and for this very same fact my town's midwife and apprentice of Hela raised me as her own. When I came of age I learned that Hela visited us on the scream of a woman's childbirth, and when a woman dies giving life to her child, her soul is carried away and reborn as an avian attendant of the Heia's court. Though the miracle of Queen of Birds, my mother has been watching over me my whole life. I wear the fetish charm of a cloud singer, the bird I dream my mother became. My featherly thinkers look gradually and unbecoming, but it is single fire to women in need, and that I am entrained midwife, blessed by Hela and living every note of life's song. The Queens of Bird wills us to shepherd new life into the world, and not as a good god so often desires to end it. A follower of Margan once mocked my fate, saying I worship paintbrushes and birds, fighting things beneath the gods. I do not resent the other gods and very necessities that they must oversee, but it's not language, love, the art, and creativity that which separates us from simple beasts. Heya allows us to raise above our savage feral selves. I am often amused that upon seeing the holy Avarice, visitors frequently ask, "This is nice, but where is the real temple of Helia?" Perhaps they think hallowed ground requires oppressive stonework and ceiling that hides the sky. They do not realize that the bird queen stands not on the ceremony she makes herself manifest, in the magic of bird, in the beauty of the unctuous and open sky. Hela prefers the worship of two children singing over 1,000 petitions, silently praying for victory. The Sky Mother asks so little of us, and yet so much. We are charged of very lives. Notes life's song. It surprised me how many fail to embrace the divine calling. Well, that's 8 books right here. We have 13 books left. Charming. I'm going to end this episode here. So, thank you all for joining me. I'm gonna see you all next time. Goodbye.